Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa baraka ala nabina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Welcome, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to our adult viewers. A very special welcome to our young and young adult viewers. Welcome to the program 30 Lessons from the Life of the Last Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Episode 19, Yathrib, a haven for Muslims and a home for Islam. Lesson 19, Yathrib, a haven for Muslims and a home for Islam. Brothers and sisters, a few times during our study, we have mentioned the city of Yathrib. It is the city where the Prophet's father, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, died, where his and where his mother took him for a visit when he was around 6 years old. It was a small oasis about 250 miles north of Mecca, and it would soon become a safe haven, and beyond that, a home for Islam and the Muslims. Soon after Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj, in the 10th year of the prophethood, during the Hajj pilgrimage, the Prophet met with 6 men from Yathrib, who after listening to him preach, embraced Islam. When they returned to Yathrib, they conveyed the message to as many people as they could, and in the following year, during the pilgrimage, 12 more people came from Yathrib to meet with the Prophet and learn from him. They too converted and pledged their allegiance to the Prophet ﷺ and their commitment to worship none besides Allah, to neither steal, nor behave immorally, nor murder their infant children, nor spread slanders, nor disobey the Prophet's command. So they pledged to obey the Prophet ﷺ in anything that he commanded them to do. When they returned to Yathrib this time, the Prophet appointed one of his trusted companions, Mus'ab ibn Umair, to accompany them, to spread Islam in Yathrib, and to teach the new Muslims the Quran and the basics of their religion. Mus'ab ibn Umair was a very skilled preacher and a beautiful reciter of the Quran. He met with people in their homes, recited the Quran, and taught them the basics of Islam. He taught them the teachings of Islam, taught them what Islam stood for, what we believe in Islam, the rituals we perform, the morals of Islam, etc. By the grace of Allah, many people embraced Islam. Leaders of the 2 Arab tribes of Yathrib, Al-Aws wal-Khazraj, men and women, young and old, all embraced their religion with great enthusiasm and commitment. In the 12th year of prophethood, the Yathribites sent a delegation of 73 men and 2 women to make a pledge of allegiance to the Prophet ﷺ, to commit themselves to defend and protect him against all enemies, and to invite him and all of the Muslims to migrate and seek sanctuary in Yathrib, which would be thereafter renamed and forever known as Madinatun Nabi, the city of the Prophet, or Al-Madinah, the city for short. The path was now paved for the persecuted followers of the Prophet ﷺ to migrate to the new home of Islam, and they did so in large numbers, to the point that shortly after the new sanctuary for Islam and for Muslims was established, pretty soon Mecca nearly became a ghost town, especially as it relates to the Muslims. Most of the Muslims had fled to Al-Madinah. But the Prophet ﷺ himself remained in Mecca, waiting for permission from Allah to migrate himself. When the Meccan chiefs came to know that the Muslims had established a state of their own in Al-Madinah, they thought to themselves about their caravans, which would be forced to pass along roads that took them past this new state, this new sanctuary, this new place where the Muslims were holed up in large numbers. The Meccans began to think to themselves what a threat this state would pose to those caravans and ultimately to their economy. And they thought to themselves that they had but to hatch a plot to kill the Prophet and stop the spread of Islam in its tracks. What lessons, brothers and sisters, can we learn from what we heard today? Number one, from the lessons, inviting people to Islam and spreading the message of Islam is everyone's responsibility in accordance with each person's capability. That basically each one of us, Muslim, ability to spread Islam and to teach it to whoever he can whenever the opportunity presents itself. And it is not the job of a specific group of people with specific qualifications. And the proof for this is that when in the story, when the Prophet ﷺ met those 6 men, those first 6 men from Yathrib, those 6 men went back to and immediately started telling other people what they had learned from the Prophet about Islam. And they didn't wait for the Prophet to come or for the Prophet to send someone who would be his representative. Rather, they themselves felt responsible to convey the message. And the Prophet even taught us in one of his hadith, he said, "Ballighu anni walau ayah." Convey from me the message of Islam, even if it is one sentence to others. And so those of us who work with non-Muslims or go to school with non-Muslims, or maybe we are active in sports and we play with non-Muslims, and they ask us about Islam, then we have a responsibility, or if the opportunity presents itself, just to talk to them about Islam, even if they don't ask us, we have a responsibility to what? To convey that message and to spread that message of Islam in accordance with our ability. Number two, from the lessons, is that what we've heard today, that the 2 cornerstones of Islam are a tawheed, strict believing in worshiping one God, and good character. And the proof for that, or we see this in the story, that when the Prophet made the pledge to those 12 men, the second group of Yathribites that came in the 11th year, when he made them pledge and commit themselves, and he accepted their embracing of Islam, and in exchange for that he made them pledge certain things to show their commitment, he asked them what? He asked them to pledge that they will worship no deity except Allah, or no deity besides Allah. And that's what? A tawheed. Made them pledge this, that you commit, that you won't associate partners with God in his worship. And the second thing, he told them not to steal, he told them not to spread slanders, he told them not to behave immorally, and all that. So you're going to see throughout the life of the Prophet the 2 things that he emphasized more, all tawheed and good character, which lets you know that this is the crux of Islam. If this is Islam in a nutshell, somebody asks you, tell me what is Islam in a sentence. Tell me what is Islam in a few short words. You say a tawheed, strict monotheism, and good character. That's what it is. And these are the 2 things that every Muslim should be focused on. Because these are what? They are, I said, the crux, as we said, the crux, the cornerstone of Islam. They are the foundation of Islam. The most important, essential part of Islam are these 2 things. Tawheed, and good character. Number 3 from the lessons is we learn that obeying the Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is a requirement of Islam and is in effect obedience to Allah who appointed him. And this is important because, first of all, we see it in the story that when the Prophet made that pledge to those 12 individuals, them to practice the tawheed and have good moral character, at the end of that pledge, he made them commit to obeying him and not disobeying his commands. And so what this teaches us is that obeying the Prophet is part and parcel of being a Muslim. And it's not something which is optional, it's in fact a requirement. And this is important because in many cases, when Muslims are told about the hadith of the Prophet, that the Prophet said this, or he told us to do that, many people will kind of shrug and say, they think if it doesn't come from the Quran, then we have the option to do it or not to do it. Or because it comes from the Prophet, it makes it sunnah. It makes it something which is simply recommended. But the fact of the matter is that when the Prophet commands us to do something, it's the same as if Allah has commanded us to do that thing. As Allah says in the Quran, مَن يُطِعِ الرَّسُولَ فَقَدْ أَطَاعَ اللَّهِ. Whoever obeys the Prophet or obeys the Messenger has in fact obeyed Allah. Number 4 from the lessons is that we learn the name of one of the Prophet's trusted companions, Mus'ab ibn Umair. And we also learned some of his virtues. Not all of them, because Mus'ab ibn Umair had many virtues. But we learned 2 of them. One, he was a very skilled and powerful and convincing preacher. And he was also a very beautiful reciter of the Quran. Another lesson, number 5, is we learned how Yathrib, the city of Yathrib, became the city of Al-Madinah. And we learned that what Al-Madinah stands for is the city, which is short for Madinatun Nabi, the city of the Prophet. And number 6, and lastly from the lessons, is we learned the circumstances that led the pagans of Mecca to plot to kill the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we're going to learn more about foiled that plot. We'll learn about that inshallah ta'ala tomorrow. Before closing and concluding, I would like to remind our viewers of our question of the week. As you all know, in addition to having this study and learning what we can learn in 30 days about our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we have also tried to incentivize attending and viewing and following the lessons by having a question of the week competition, which entitles and makes a person eligible, if they answer correctly, to a cash prize each week. And so we want to mention that question of the week. And remember, all answers should be submitted no later than Thursday evening. And we'll announce the winner of this week's question of the week on Friday, inshallah ta'ala. That question is, what year of the prophethood is called Amul Huzn? And what we mean by the year of the prophethood, the prophet became the prophet at a certain point and remained the prophet and the messenger for 20 years. And each year is considered 1 year of prophethood. So the first year, when he first got the message, that's the first year of prophethood. 5 years later, the 5th year. 10 years later, the 10th year. So which year of prophethood is called Amul Huzn? And why is it called that? Which year of prophethood is called Amul Huzn? And why is it called that? And so that is our question of the week. Until we meet again tomorrow, we ask to bless you, to bless your houses, to bless your spouses, to bless your families, to bless your children, to bless your evening, to bless your iftar, to bless what remains of your month of Ramadan. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept your fasting, your prayer, your dua, your dhikr, and all the acts of worship that you are doing to get close to Allah in this month. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us from those who He will liberate from hellfire in this month. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us from those who listen to the talk and from those who He teaches beneficial knowledge and who He benefits with that knowledge by making us from those who put it into practice. هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.